Hi guys, upon popular request, I've been asked to talk about what overvaluing a property is and what the effects could be on finding a potential buyer. So overvaluing is when an agent goes around to a property and says it's more expensive than what actually the market value of that property would actually be. The effects that would have on you if you put the property on over market value is that you won't have that much interest and people coming through the door because they think it's too expensive. As I've said in my previous videos, I'm an estate agent myself, but if I viewed a house and I knew it was overvalued, I wouldn't particularly be inclined to go and see it for more than one reason. And one of them is I wouldn't want to offend the vendor, because I'm sure that everyone loves their own property, which is a given, but I don't want to be that person that comes around and say, actually, I think I'm going to offer you £20,000 less because I don't think it's worth that, because some people can get offended by that sort of stuff. In terms of trying to avoid overvaluing, as I said before, always get 3 agents out as a minimum and mix that between independent and corporate agents. This will give you a sort of an average as such. If you have got, let's say, 2 agents around about the same price and another agent that's £10,000 more than what the other agents have said, I would particularly do more research on what you think your house is worth, and I wouldn't always go with the person that gives you the higher valuation. Some agents will go out to a property and give you more of a higher price just so they can get the listing on and then trap you into a contract, and unfortunately then unable to sell it. Whereas if you put the property on at an attractive price in the first place, you'll get more footfall through, and also then you get a higher demand and people start getting competitive, and that's when you get the best price for your property. So it doesn't always work out the best for you if you put the property on a lot higher. Sometimes it's worth putting it on lower and then letting the natural demand increase the value for you, so you're doing less of the work. So in terms of doing your own homework, the ways you can do this is check all the online portals, Zoopla, Rightmove, Prime Location, look at properties that have sold in your area for the same sort of size house, see which ones are already on the market, that's for sale, and how long they've been on the market for sale, because at the moment houses should be selling around 4 weeks. If they haven't sold around 4 weeks, then perhaps there's an issue with perhaps advertising, etc., etc. So it would be always worth doing and looking as an overall market value for what your property is then worth, and have a better idea. Do this before the agents come out, and then if you're still questioning it, do it some more afterwards, or even call some more agents out if you're still not comfortable with the prices they have said. Call some more agents out and get that, and then do it on an average on what everybody said. Basically, would be the best way to go around that. If you do manage to sell a property that's been overvalued by an agent, congratulations. However, if that property is then the buyer then needs to get a mortgage on the property, you may be facing the bank coming around and saying, no, actually this property isn't worth that, and then devaluing the property on the mortgage report, which means that the buyer will only be able to have a certain amount from the lender, which means you won't be able to get the price that you originally agreed in the first place. I've seen that more and more this year than I have in any previous years, with properties getting downvalued by lenders. So that is also something to be mindful of, that even if you do sell the property, it may not actually go through at that value that you've agreed in the first place. If you have any more questions or want any more advice on that, give us a call on 01933 837 000.